We sleep trained our daughter at 13 months and she finally sleeps through the night now. I'm getting a lot of questions on how we did it, and I feel like it's finally time for me to get the courage to actually make a video about it. She's 16 months now, so I felt like I needed a long window to actually like make a video to say yes, she's sleeping, because anything sooner than that and I probably would have jinxed it. So I'm gonna rapid fire the background story because I feel like I could never actually explain the full story in one video. 13 months of no sleep is unexplainable. Essentially, the day we got Scarlett Rose home as a newborn, she was awake every 20 minutes to 1 hour, and that was for the first, I'm gonna guess, 8 months of her life. The reason I'm saying guess is because I'm so far past it now that I actually can't even remember like the actual time frames and dates. I remember we did sleep school at 7 months and she was definitely like awake 12 times a night then. I think her worst night at sleep school was 15 weeks. I think that's what I had on the whiteboard. When I say she was awake every 20 minutes to 1 hour, I mean 24 hours a day. There was never a longer nap than that from the time she was born until the first round of sleep training we did, not counting sleep school because she was still awake. Sleep school just is irrelevant in this context. It's like it was fun. It was fun sleep school for me. It was the biggest waste of my time though for actual sleep. So what we did at 8 months for sleep training, we did alone at home with no guidance, no support. And then we did the exact same thing at 13 months. So same 2 exact things. We just did 2 rounds of it, if that makes sense. I'm going to explain it now. So yeah, at night she was awake 10 to 12 times a night until the 8 months. And then 8 to 10 months she was awake like 2-3 times a night. And then 10 months to 13 months she was awake like 5, whatever, I don't know, times a night. Also important to note that when we did the first round of sleep training at 8 months is when her day naps drastically improved. Like she went from only napping 30 minutes to an hour during the day to starting to nap like an hour and a half to 2 hours stints during the day. Okay, that's the rapid fire. So here's the sleep training. So to mentally prep for the first round of sleep training, we actually went away for a weekend. So Friday, Saturday night, we slept in a hotel. And actually on the Friday night, we sent Helen off to her nanny's house. And I slept in the hotel. And when I tell you, we both slept like 10 hours straight. The best sleep I had since before I was pregnant. I said there was no way I was going to be able to get into the sleep training mindset on my own. Like there was no way I was going to be able to do it. Like I was that sleep deprived. It was not going to happen unless I actually got a night's sleep. So that was an absolute like must if you're going to do the sleep training, I reckon. The second night in the hotel was one of the worst nights ever. I'll never forget it. And people always say, why don't you just do the co-sleeping? We tried co-sleeping, okay? She co-slept that night in the hotel and was awake. I swear that night was every 20 minutes. Okay, so night 1 of sleep training, I locked in mentally and I was like, it is now or never. We have to do this. I don't care if I'm not sleeping. I pretty much told myself I'm not going to sleep the whole night. Goes down to bed at 7 p.m. and she wakes up at 8 p.m. So about an hour later. And then what you need to do at that time is wait 5 minutes. So she's awake, she's fussing, she's crying. You got to wait the 5 minutes. After the 5 minutes, you go into the room and just say, shh, good night, Scarlett. Mummy loves you. It's still dark. You know, back to sleep. Good night. Like you're in the room maximum like 10 seconds, I'll say. Straight back out the room. So don't pick her up, don't touch her, nothing like that. Then you wait 10 minutes, okay? So she probably hasn't gone back to sleep because that's just not who she is. You go back in 10 minutes later and you do the exact same thing. Exact same. So good night, love you, still dark, go back to sleep, 10 seconds, out of the room. And then you go back in 15 minutes later and do the exact same thing again. Straight back out the room. And then you just keep repeating that. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. For as long as it takes. Memory, the first like week for her was like an hour and a half. So I was going in every 5, 10, 15 for an hour and a half. And then I think she went back to sleep for like 2 hours. Already an improvement, mind you. She's probably exhausted, darling. Then next week, exact same thing again. Next week, exact same thing again. Next week, exact same thing again. There is no giving in the whole night. Now, you've got to take your own motherly instinct in as well. So I had just made a decision in my mind that if there was a point where she was actually like overly upset, I was to pick her up and to rock her until she calmed down like completely and was like, oh, it's okay, like I'm chill now and like maybe almost asleep. And then I put her in the bassinet. But even if she, sorry, not the bassinet, the cot, even if she was to go back to crying again, it was 5, 10, 15, 5, 10, 15. Like, it was like I just had to kind of make a call on like if she was like overly upset, like was I okay with picking her up? But there was going to be no milk and no rocking to sleep. There was just like a soothing kind of hug. I think I did this maybe 3 times on the first night easily. Now, I can't remember the exact stats from the first night, but I remember from night 1 to night 2, it was honestly going from like waking every hour to maximum 3 wakes. She works 3 wakes the second night. Third night, I think she worked twice, and then fourth night onwards, she essentially slept through the night, or she'd have 1 wake, but she would self-soothe herself within like 10 minutes on that wake. And then after the third night of sleep training, I just called that it was always going to be 15 minutes. Like, it wasn't 5, 10, 15 anymore. Every wake was at least 15 minutes. And honestly, she would put herself back to sleep. Like, she didn't even need me anymore. Now, like I said earlier, this was round 1 of sleep training. She did amazing. She wasn't like, it's hard to explain. It's like she did well for like a week or whatever, and then she went to like the 3 weeks a night, and then she went back to 5. I can't remember, but it was just effed. Okay, so she did good for a bit of time, and then it was like out the window again. I don't know what happened, but it was just, she just wasn't settling anymore. She would start like overly screaming and stuff, and I went back to just doing the milk because I knew the milk would get her to sleep within like 30 seconds, and then I would just go back to sleep. And it was just, I honestly just gave in, and I said to myself, you know what, I'm not doing this until she's past 1. Her day naps improved amazingly, so I was chill, it was fine. And then I was like, you know what, let's just continue. She'll get there. And at 13 months, I was like at my wit's end, and I was like, we're gonna have to do another round of sleep training. We did the exact same thing for round 2 of sleep training, so it was 3 nights with the 5, 10, 15 minute rule. She picked it up so much quicker the second time round. It was like incredible, and ever since, she has slept through the night. So 7 p.m. till 7 a.m, no wakes. If she does, like, it's really, really rare, but she'll get herself back to sleep. And one thing that Scarlett's always been amazing at, so even though she's been a bad sleeper, she's always been able to self-settle, like when I put her to bed, when I put her down for a nap. Like, she just knows. She just rolls over and puts herself to sleep. So I feel like that was something that, like, you need to kind of be on top of. You need to be, like, on top of getting them to self-soothe the first time they go to sleep, to even think about beginning the sleep training, in my opinion. So yeah, now our days are bedtime 7 p.m, wake at 7 a.m, first nap around 10 a.m. for 1 hour, and then second nap around 2 p.m. for 2 or 3 hours. I feel like this was pretty skimmed. You probably have a lot of questions. I probably didn't touch on everything, but like I said, once you're past it, you genuinely forget. Like, I've forgotten. If you have any questions, let me know. And I'm so sorry if this is something that you are going through with your child. It is so hard. I'm sending you all the love and support in the world. You can do this. And if you need to lock in and just pick a day, like, see if there's a way that you can have a bit of a rest before the day comes. And if not, honestly, it's already been hard for such a long time. 3 days, the 3 days isn't even that hard. You think you're too exhausted to do it, but once you've locked in, you can do it. And Bubs is probably ready and needs it. Scarlett's development, oh my God. Since 13 months, her development's been crazy. Little girl's too tired to develop quickly. Like, now she's on the roll.